Good afternoon and welcome to a special South show at 2 p.m. Over the course of the next half an hour, we'll be bringing you all the special stories from across southern states. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy joining you from Tamil Nadu. We also have stories from Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh as well as Kerala. We have Uma Sudhir joining us from Telangana. We also have Ashish Pandey joining us from Andhra Pradesh, and he will also be speaking about stories from Kerala, and of course Deepak Bopanna from Karnataka. We'll begin with Deepak. Deepak, it's BJP versus Congress once again in the state of Karnataka, this time over Dashera Rao. In fact, DK Shivkumar has found himself in trouble over the statement he made over Goddess Chamundeshwari, and this has obviously not gone down well with the BJP. Take us through the details.
Well, thank you, Radhika, and wishing all our viewers a happy Ganesh Chaturthi. And of course, on this auspicious occasion, it seems like the politics around Chamundeshwari and the Chamundi Hill is refusing to die down. Initially, of course, it was all about, Dasara. It was about the inauguration to that event. Banu Mushtaq, the noted writer, being inaugurated by the Karnataka Chief Minister, didn't go down too well. Several BJP leaders raising objections. But now the latest comment by Mr. DK Shivkumar, where he went on to say that the Chamundi Hill or the goddess Chamundeshwari is not Hindu property, has not really gone down well at all with the BJP. All of them coming down quite heavily. They're slamming in, but Mr. DK Shivkumar remains defiant and he says he has said nothing wrong. Let's listen to this reaction of the Deputy Chief Minister.
I had given invitation to every section of the society, including foreign nationals, visit even today, tomorrow. Can you stop entering palace? Can anyone stop entering Chamundi temple? See, it is a deity of the state, not for a religion. We call it Nada Devate. So Dasara prayer has been offered by everyone. Everyone participated in it. So it is our Indian culture. Ultimately, it is a constitution. And Chamundi Hills is a government temple. It is not a private temple. It is a government temple.
ಅನ್ಯ ಆರಾಧನಾ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರೋರನ್ನ ಬ್ರದರ್ಸು ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯುವಂಥ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರಿಂದ ಈ ಧರ್ಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಬಾನು ಮುಷ್ತಾಕ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ಯಾಕಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದಸರಾ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಯಾವ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ಬಂದು ಕರೀಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಜಯಂತಿ ಮಾಡಿರೋ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ಸಾಲಿಡಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಹಿಂದಿರಬೇಕು. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರೇನ.
Well, joining us on the show is Yaduvir Krishnadatta Chamaraja Wadiyar. He is the, titular king of Mysuru, the Maharaja there, and also the BJP MP. And why I'm introducing him with both these titles is primarily because there is so much this festival has in connection with the Wadiyar family to the Mysuru Maharajas. Yaduvir, thank you for joining us today. Now, you of course have already raised your objection to what the Chief Minister said, the Deputy Chief Minister said yesterday. But today he's justifying it and saying that, well, Goddess Chamundeshwari is Nada Devate. That means the goddess of the state, and anybody is welcome to go pray to her. And why? And unnecessarily you and your counterparts in the BJP are making politics out of this.
Thank you very much, and of course wishes to the entire viewers and all of you all at the NDTV team on the auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. Our contention with the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka isn't to do with the fact that everybody is allowed entry into temples. That is a fact given the pluralistic identity of what is our Bharatiya tradition from thousands of years, if not much more. The issue we have taken to hand is saying that this isn't a Hindu property or isn't a Hindu space, while quite clearly it is. I think this is one of the more outrageous statements I've heard from the Congress, to put it lightly. We do not need to sit here and justify or give proofs of the fact that this is a temple that is within the Hindu framework. Rishi Markandeya is supposed to have come here and done tapas, and then also, of course, etched or sculpted the idol of Chamundeshwari and the, of course, Mahabaleshwara temple as well. He's supposed to have offered his prayers there. Subsequently, in actual documented history, there's over 1,200 years of history associated with the temple, with various ruling houses contributing to the development of the temple, and finally my own family doing the current or the present development of the temple up to its present state. All of whom have adhered to Hindu norms, what is largely and a very broad, obvious plural context within Hinduism, and it's very clearly within the Shakta tradition of India, and in fact we consider it a Shakti Peeth as well. And given all of these proofs, it is abundantly clear that
today the Deputy Chief Minister makes another interesting comment. He says, I'm sorry to butt in, but I want you to comment on this as well. He says this is a state government run temple. He says this is not a private temple. There has been a debate in the past as well about temples being taken over by the government.
Well, I think he's missing a few facts there. The control of the temple has been under scrutiny in terms of course, us objecting to it legally. The Muzerai itself property we have challenged, and that has been ongoing, I believe, since the mid-70s. And recently, even the Pradhikara, or the temple authority, which was created by this government, has been challenged by my mother, and that continues to be an issue in court. In fact, we even had a very clear order saying that the temple rituals and also the temple assets have to be held with the deity itself and cannot be transferred into the authority.
Well, thank you, Mr. Yaduvir, for your perspective on the matter. But of course, this issue is not something that will die down anytime soon, with the inauguration, of course, set to happen in a few days from now. And the Chief Minister and the government be making it very clear that Banu Mushtaq is going to be inaugurating it. It seems like the pressure on the government will continue, the politics will continue. I want to now go across to Telangana, where my colleague Uma has some interesting stories lined up.
Thank you, Deepak. I bring you first news from Kerala, where in fact the Palakkad Congress MLA Rahul Mamkootathil is in more trouble after facing multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, after which he was suspended by the Congress party. Now he seems to be facing another kind of trouble, where we are now being told that investigating agencies have summoned Rahul for alleged use of a fake voter ID card, and he is going to be questioned by the investigating agencies on Saturday in this context. Even as we are talking about this, we must mention that VD Satish had made a big hint saying that there is trouble lurking for the BJP as well, and that's what has come to surface now, with another woman in fact coming forward and talking about a sexual misconduct allegation against the Kerala BJP leader Krishna Kumar, and she has alleged that she had complained in fact to Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, and that no action had been taken. Of course, Mr. Krishna Kumar has been someone who has been at the forefront of the agitations against Rahul Mamkootathil, and this woman says that he does not have the moral authority to do that because he misbehaved against me. Mr. Krishna Kumar has justified it, saying that she had made those allegations because of being felt that she had been given some kind of orders which she did not like, and that's the reason why she had made these kind of false allegations. Moving on to another very important breaking news from Kerala, where in fact Onam festival season it is from August 26th to the 5th of September is when Onam is celebrated. That's something that we all know is celebrated by all the religions in Kerala. But in one particular school in Kerala, a teacher has been now suspended. In fact, not one teacher but two teachers have been suspended by that very school because they sent out WhatsApp messages in which they suggested to the parents that Muslims need not celebrate Onam because Onam has Hindu moorings and therefore it's a Hindu festival, and that the Muslims should not be celebrating, and therefore the parents were advised not to encourage their young ones or the students to celebrate Onam. This post was put up as an audio on the WhatsApp groups of the parents, and it became viral, and subsequently the school management, which is actually a private unaided school, has said that they do not agree with the views of this particular teacher. They have distanced themselves from the views of this teacher. Both teachers who had posted on the group, they have been suspended now, and the police has booked them under section 196 of the BNS, which means that for promoting enmity between different different groups. Both these teachers now stand suspended and are being, in fact, facing legal action as well. The school itself has about 24 teachers, out of which 13 are Muslim teachers, and it has more than 200 students, and there are Hindu students in that same school as well. The CPM as well as the DYFI are in fact holding protests outside the school, demanding action, and once again the government saying that Onam is a festival of all religions, and the school itself has declared that they are as usual celebrating Onam, and they are even going to have the festival a meal of Ona Sadaya on the 28th of August, hosted in that very school. Now I go across to my colleague Ashish Pandey, who's going to tell us about how a ragging incident has once again surfaced in a private school in Andhra Pradesh. Ashish?
Yes, Uma, this particular case is from Rajmundry. It's under Konaseema district, newly formed Konaseema district of Andhra Pradesh. There, one 16-year-old boy, now he has alleged, his parents have alleged that that particular boy was ragged by his classmate. So incident is some 10-day-old, and it surfaced when the parents visited the boy, the victim boy, in the school, and there they found the injuries. And when inquired about the injuries, the boy revealed that it was his classmate who tortured him with hot iron boxes, and he had several burn injuries. Now, the victim boy was taken to the hospital where he is undergoing treatment. Meanwhile, parents have complained to the police. Police have initiated investigation and further inquiring about the whole incident. But yes, it's a shocking case. Earlier also we had reported at NDTV that how in another school, a private school, in fact, another case of ragging had surfaced. Uma, back to you.
Yes, serious cases of ragging coming up in several educational institutions, and the authorities now cracking down on these schools, telling them that they must put in measures in order to stop this kind of unwelcome activity, illegal activity by their own students. Now we have some breaking news coming in from Sirsila district of Telangana, where a minor girl's death that was considered suspicious initially, in fact considered as a natural death by her parents initially, has now turned into a case of suicide, and the police has in fact said that they are booking cases of not just POCSO, which is sexual assault or misconduct against a minor, as well as cases of suicide abetment against 3 individuals, a 28-year-old and 2 24-year-old. This is after the father of the girl in fact found a letter, a 3-page letter in the house that was written a little while ago, actually a couple of months ago, and this letter has suggested that this girl was being repeatedly sexually assaulted over the last more than 2 years at least. That's what the district police chief told me, that she was being sexually assaulted, she was being blackmailed. The girl has said that she was, she was forced into a sexual act that was filmed by these men, and then she had been blackmailed and she was unable to even go out and sell vegetables, which is what her father does, and that she was feeling extreme torture. On the face of it, the girl had suffered fits and had suffered high fever, and that's how they thought that she had died. But now the district police chief has told me that they are going to be doing a post-mortem to find out what exactly caused her death. But the minor girl, only 17 years old, had been subjected to repeated sexual abuse by 3 men, and that has now come to light after a letter written by the girl was discovered by the father in their home. So this is something that we will continue to track and follow. So after this very disturbing story, I just want you to once see the Ganesh behind me, because Ganesh festival is something hugely celebrated in Telangana as well. And yes, the puja will happen later this evening, but it's been raining, so it's going to be a rainy Ganesh festival. Of course, it goes on for about 10 days here, when in fact the immersion will take place. Now, we will be bringing you the stories and the visuals from all the pandals, the security measures that have been put in place as well. Now I hand over back to Radhika in Chennai.
Thank you, Uma. Politics is heating up in the state of Tamil Nadu once again, with Stalin, MK Stalin, Chief Minister here, sharing the stage with Rahul Gandhi in Bihar for voter Adhikar Yatra. In fact, Stalin, in that particular speech in Bihar, said that this is an attempt to save democracy. Of course, the opposition leaders have been alleging fraud as far as this entire voter revision exercise is concerned. But this has not gone down well with the leaders of BJP, specifically in the state of Tamil Nadu. They have been calling out on MK Stalin's hypocrisy and double standards, saying that he has always been critical of people of Bihar. He has always, his party leaders, party men, his family members have been insulting and demeaning people of Bihar, calling them illiterate, calling them toilet cleaners. But now they are pretending to want to save the democracy. Now they are pretending to want to support the people of Bihar. So yes, this has obviously turned into a huge war of words between the DMK and BJP. DMK has defended itself, saying that it is petty politics being played by the BJP, and they are here to save the constitution and save the democracy with this particular rally of the opposition. So a stand of unity of sorts, but certainly it has become political. Let's listen in to the reactions of both the BJP and DMK leader over Stalin's participation in this rally in Bihar.
Chief Minister has earlier pointed out how the BJP government may be illegitimate. They have stolen the votes and come to power. And Bihar elections are very, very crucial for the survival of the BJP government. And the BJP leaders are asking, oh, you have made allegations against Bihar. Tamil Nadu is a state where everybody, whoever comes here, will be benefited. What audacity the BJP has to speak about pride or anything. Shamelessly they come here and ask for votes.
Will Thiru MK Stalin, who's joining Rahul Gandhi on his Samvidhan Badnaam Yatra, wish the people of Bihar on this auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi? Because Thiru MK Stalin in the past has always avoided wishing the Tamil people on Hindu festivals like Deepavali and Vinayaka Chaturthi. But more importantly, what will be playing on the minds of the people of Bihar is the way in which senior DMK leaders in the past have done Bihar Badnaam.
We have always said that Rahul Gandhi ji has come for his yatra in Bihar just to spoil the political scenario of Tejasvi Yadav ji. Tejasvi Yadav ji has been deviated from the core issues of public, and now he is following the footsteps of Rahul Gandhi ji just to please him, so that Tejasvi ji can be declared as the CM face of the Mahagathbandhan. Rahul ji has called Stalin Sahab in Bihar, who has given such vulgar comments regarding Hindu mythology, God and goddesses.
बिहार राजनीतिक रूप से सक्रिय प्रदेश है। वोटर अधिकार यात्रा के रूप में बिहार ने पूरे देश को चुनाव आयोग और भारतीय जनता पार्टी सहित उसके सहयोगियों की वोट चोरी को खुलेआम कर दिया है। देश के ढांचागत विकास में बिहारियों का खून पसीना लगा हुआ है और बिहार कई धर्मों का उद्गम स्थल भी रहा है। ऐसी स्थिति में यह स्पष्ट है कि लोकतंत्र की रक्षा के इस बड़े लड़ाई में जो लोग भी बिहार आएंगे उनका स्वागत होना चाहिए, हो रहा है।
In another big development coming in from Tamil Nadu, actor turned politician Vijay and his bouncers have been booked by the police in Tamil Nadu for assaulting a man, a supporter at the TVK rally. In fact, as far as the complainant Sharad Kumar is concerned, he says that he was trying to get into the ramp where Vijay was walking, but he was shoved and pushed away by the bouncers, and he went ahead and filed a complaint before the police in Madurai, and multiple sections have been added to the FIR, and Vijay and the bouncers have been booked. Of course, this is not the first time. Earlier too, Vijay's bouncer was seen pointing a gun at a fan, and Vijay in the recent past had been urging his fans to be respectful and not to do anything risky in his presence. Of course, a lot of frenzy is created when Vijay is doing these events and rallies, and now Sharad Kumar there saying that he has sustained injuries as a result of this and wants severe action against the bouncers. We'll have to see what action will be taken, but let's listen in to what the complainant had to say. And this has also turned political with BJP attacking the TVK, saying they are a bunch of thugs, and how can Vijay serve the people of the state when he cannot be with the supporters? Let's listen in.
இப்போ தாவேக்கா தலைவர் ரேம்ப் வாக் வரும்போது அவரை பார்க்கணும்னு கிட்ட ரேம்ப் மேலே ஏறி கிட்ட போகும்போது பவுன்சர் என்னை மடக்கி தூக்கி கீழே தூக்கி வீசிட்டாங்க. அதனால நான் சுதாரிச்சுக்கிட்டு அந்த கம்பியை பிடிச்சி தொங்கிக்கிட்டேன். எனக்கு உடம்புல வந்து ஆங்கங்கே சில காயங்கள் இருக்குது. அதனால சம்பந்தப்பட்ட அவங்க மேலே ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்கணும்னு நான் கம்ப்ளைண்ட் புகார் மனு கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
No, first itself I was against that grease applying on the ramp to prevent the followers and the cadres from catching it so that it will slip away. So he has to please the cadres, not to grease the cadres. It's very, very unfortunate. So he thinks very high about him. And if he is coming to politics, he is entering politics and he wants to be active in politics, he should act as a politician, not as an actor. So highly condemnable, and they view their cadres in a very cheaper way. In a low
All right, before we conclude the show, I will hand back to Uma. Uma, it's Ganesh Chaturthi. Of course, people across the country are celebrating. Take us through the celebrations happening at around your corner.
Yes, indeed. If Vijay is the superstar in Tamil Nadu, Ganesh all the way, not just in Hyderabad, but all over the country where the festival is being celebrated. And yes, the pujas begin from today. Over the next 10 days, we will bring you the color and the festivities in all the pandals, all the interesting pandals. And also, of course, we will take you to the biggest of them all at Khairatabad, where the Ganapati stands tall at 69 feet tall. That is the height of the Ganapati there. And he competes with the tallest elsewhere in the country. So that's the wrap on Southern View from here, from the south of the country, where we bring you all the breaking news from every part of the country with our reporters on the ground. Continue to catch us between 2 and 2:30 p.m. every day on NDTV 24/7. Time now for a short break. Lots more coming up on the other side.